Okay. So again, I will be lecturing about our second topic for semifinals, and it's about establishing the context for risk management. Okay. Um, so we will be having this topic for you to understand yung crucial step in managing risks effectively. Like, for example, you're like an actor, okay, in a stage play. So, of course, you need to know the setting, the characters, and the plot before you can act. So, uh, after this one, you should understand why context matters because it's as well as its key components and how to apply it in real life situations. So, what is context? When you say context, ano daw yun? It emphasizes the importance of context in risk management. It defines context as the environment within which the organization operates, including internal and external factors that can influence its risks and opportunities. So, of course, diba, pag sinabing environment, like internal and external environment, very basic na nabanggit din natin dati na pag sinabing internal, these are the things or factors that you can control. Think of it na parang nasa loob ka ng classroom. Tapos, uh, let's say hindi summer, ganun. Sakto lang. Sakto lang yung panglabas na init. Pero nainitan ka sa loob. So what can you do? Siguro i-switch mo yung electric fan, buksan mo yung bintana, madilim. So i-switch mo yung ilaw or ihawi mo yung kurtina, di ba? So, ibig sabihin, yung mga yun, pwede mong galawin or pwede mong i-control. Pero pag sinabi na parang ganito na super init sa labas dahil sa climate change na din, ganun na yung heat index pumapalo ng 45 degrees, you cannot do anything about it. Right? So, here's an example of external things. Kung nagkaroon ng bagyo, hindi mo naman siya mapipigilan, right? May announcement na may typhoon. Hindi mo naman pwedeng sabihin, kung hindi ka huwag kang pumunta dito sa Pangasinan, hindi naman po pwedeng ganun, right? So, again, you can do something about it though. You can mitigate the risk na ibibigay or yung impact ng typhoon na yun just it is. Kagaya niyan, minimitigate natin yung impact ng init ng panahon. That's why we are conducting it online, synchronous or asynchronous classes, so that still we can still learn. We just have to find a way to lessen the risks. Okay? So, ayan. Next one. So, risk management context. So this refers to the organization's overall risk management framework, including its risk appetite, strategy, and protocols. So for the internal context, uh, ayan, culture, resources, capabilities, and decision-making processes. So I think we already discussed this before, no? Doon sa yung midterms. Natakal na rin natin to, napahapyawan na natin to. And for external, syempre, stakeholders, industry regulations, competitors, and economic conditions. So let's say, for example, uh, a small business in the Philippines, like a local bakery, must consider its internal context, such as yung staff niya, yung equipment, and external context, such as yung pagtaas and pagbaba ng arena, pagtaas at pagbaba ng presyo ng arena, I mean, and at the same time, yung mga competitors, either existing competitors or new entrants. Okay? So that kung ikaw ay startup, you can still manage risks effectively. Okay, so yan. Ayan. Okay. So, asan na yun? So, ayan, risk management context. Ito nga yun. Overall approach to risks, including appetite and strategy. Ay, nabanggit ko naman na kanina, no? Yan na yun. And importance of establishing the context. So, of course, yeah, you can, again, make informed decisions. Nabanggit natin sa previous topic na you should not decide based lang sa kung anong nakita mo or sa feelings mo or emotions. You need to you need to make decisions based on data. Okay? Yung sinasabi ng empirical evidences or whatsoever, di ba? Parang dapat meron kang basis ng iyong decision. An effective risk management framework, a well-defined context ensures that the organization's risk management framework aligns with its goals, resources, and external environment. So, for example, a school's risk management plan should align with its mission to provide quality education while ensuring student safety. Next one is alignment with risk appetite. Okay, so establishing the context allows organizations to align their risk management activities with their risk appetite so that they are comfortable with the level of risks they are taking. For example, a tech startup might take more risks to innovate, siyempre, while a hospital might avoid risks that could harm patients. Oo. Sa tech startup, marami siyang pwedeng, ay, isugal, pero, anong tawag dito? I-risk the resources, like money, dapat din yung kanyang tao ay highly skilled or maalam sa IT or sa technology. Siyempre, mas malaki yung kakailanganin niyang pera dyan. While sa hospital, they will do all the means for their patients not to be harmed. Okay? Yan yung ano. And stakeholder engagement. Oh, sorry. Going back to sa hospital, for instance, they won't just buy a drug or a medicine that is not yet, ang tawag dito, hindi pa siya masyadong established na gamot kasi there might be some side effects na pwedeng maka-affect sa kanilang patients. So kung ano lang muna yung ano nila ginagamit, parang hanggang dun lang muna and kung meron ng bago, they will need to take a lot of considerations, no? So that's alignment with their risk appetite to just ensure, you know, ma-ensure nila yung safety ng kanilang pasyente. And then stakeholder engagement. Ah, okay, stakeholder engagement. Understanding the expectations of internal and external stakeholders is crucial for effective risk management. So, for instance, a real estate developer must consider the concerns of homeowners, local governments, and environmental groups. Okay. Ayan, yung kanyang titignan. Key considerations. So, we have risk appetite and criteria. This defines how much risk the organization is willing to take. Okay, for example, a sari-sari store owner might accept the risk of low profit margins but avoid the risk of selling expired goods. Oh, naman. Next one is internal culture and resources. Uh-huh. It assesses the organization's strengths and limitations. For example, a student organization might have limited funds but a strong volunteer base. External factors naman, such as industry regulations, economic conditions, and competitor behavior, can significantly impact an organization's risks and opportunities. So, for example, a restaurant in Cebu must comply with food safety regulations and adapt to tourist season trends and risk management process. It defines the scope, responsibilities, and resources needed. Moving on to tools and techniques. So, I'll be I'll be including an example of firm risk scorecard in your handout for you to understand. Si SWOT analysis kasi and PESEL analysis, paulit-ulit na rin nating na-encounter yan. Right? I do not know kung meron kayong strategic management, pero palaging ginagamit ng SWOT and PESEL. So, si firm, it's more on financial. Okay, firm means this one. Financial, infrastructure, reputational, and marketplace components. So, yung mga yan ang titignan dito sa firm risk scorecard. So, for example, a Philippine bank might use this to assess risks like cyber attacks or economic downturn. So, also, here's what strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. I think you already know that. And of course, the PESEL, it's more on the external external factors of SWOT. So, it focuses on opportunities and threats. Ito yung internal. Okay? So, wait a sec. Para mas, ayun na siguro. Ayan. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So, ito, it's more on external. So, papasok si PESEL. I mean, P, political, ayan pala, hindi ko na siya. Political, economic, social, technological, legal, and environmental factors. So, magpo-fall siya underneath opportunities and threats.
Punta siya dito, hindi ako nang baon dyan. Nga punta kami ng doktor, wala pa naman siya.
So, moving on to risk register. So, a risk register is a dynamic document used to record and manage risks. It should include information about the risk description, like likelihood, impact, control measures, and actions to be taken. So, anong ginagawa nito? It tracks and prioritize risks. A well-maintained risk register helps organizations track, communicate, monitor, siyempre para ma-monitor yung progress, di ba? Mga control measures, and ensure appropriate actions. Okay? So, for example, a university might use a risk register to track risks like fire hazards, student safety, and IT system failures. In conclusion, so establishing the context is a critical step. Okay, by understanding the organization's environment, internal capabilities, and risk appetite, organizations can develop effective risk management strategies that help them achieve their objectives while mitigating potential risks. So, ayan. So, we have effective risk management, achieve objectives, ito yung risk register maintenance. So, it's a tool, it's like a record of all the risks and context understanding factors that can influence the internal and external or risks factors within the internal and external environment. Okay? So, One, let me give you an example. So for a small business or sari-sari store, so internal context that can affect would be limited capital and family-run operations. Pag sinabing external, syempre yung competition, di ba? Alam naman natin na minsan pag magpapatayo ng sari-sari store, yung kapitbahay natin na higit nagpatayo din ng sari-sari store or convenience stores. Or the existence of convenience stores na medyo um, mas medyo social pero nag-reach out sa masa like Alphamart, right? Um, yeah, Alphamart and 7-Eleven. So dati andun lang sila sa main cities. Ngayon nagkakaroon na sila ng mga branches sa mga barangays. So that's part of the external context. And then risk management, it focuses on loyal customers and diversifying products. Okay, so that's an example. So again, uh, okay, if you have any questions, just feel free to comment on our Google Classroom. So see you around po.